Hello everyone, Berserkhead here, and welcome to this multiplayer battle for Total War Rome 2. In this battle I command the Seleucid Empire and my opponent commands Rome. First of all, this is a post-commentary battle, which means that I recorded this footage while playing, but I'm commentating it after the actual battle, and I think that this is the most suitable format for Total War commentaries, because this way you can see what the person is doing during the battle, you can see their micromanagement, you can see all of this stuff, how the battle's going on, what abilities they use and so on. But trying to commentate while playing is a very difficult thing, kind of impossible for me. I just can't concentrate on the battle while trying to commentate, so I think that this is really the best format for commentating Total War battles. Anyways, I promised I was gonna play as the Seleucid Empire. I was, experimenting with different armies. This is the one that I came up with. I suffered some very bad defeats because, my armies pretty much sucked. But I went on YouTube, I watched a few multiplayer battles with the Seleucid Empire, and I came up with this setting, which is kind of similar to what other people use, but I'm gonna improve it in the future. It's far from perfect. But it worked pretty well for me, especially in this battle. I was fighting Rome, so I guess this is a very good setup to use against Rome, because it has a lot of pikemen, a lot of cataphracts, and the Syrian archers that the Romans have as well. But they're not gonna have a lot of advantages this way, just because pikemen are pretty good against legionnaires, and that they can't have better archers than you do, and cataphracts are pretty good. But a common mistake is that people think that they're melee cavalry. They're not. They're shock cavalry, which means that you should use them for charging, and you shouldn't leave them in the battle once they've engaged. They're not pretty good at that, and they're gonna die. It's not like Rome 1. They're not as good as in Rome 1, but they're still decent units if you use them properly. Anyways, this map gave me a pretty good opportunity to hide all of my units here, but I did micromanagement mistake at the beginning because I revealed my cavalry there, so that was a pretty bad mistake. So my opponent now knows that my my cataphracts are hidden there, or at least 2 units of them, but I'm still trying to hide the other unit of cataphracts. Like that's not really important, but I really hope that I was gonna be able to hold my to keep my cataphracts hidden there and later reveal them and kind of shock my my opponent. Then you can see I just hit all of my archers there, and I just wanted to kind of surprise my opponent, obviously, and I just wanted to kind of use them from my enemy's flank and inflict a lot of casualties this way. But that's a very difficult thing to do, because I usually engage. I don't wait for my opponent to engage. It's not a matter of patience, but it's more a matter of they're gonna start shooting me, and I just wanna react to that. I just can't stay there and wait for my opponent to just do a lot of damage. In this way, all of my archers are hidden, so I can't really do anything to counter their archers. So I know that I should reveal them at some point and try to do that. Anyways, I brought some of these Indian elephants, and they're pretty good units. I think they're the best elephant unit in the game, as far as I know. They're Indian elephants, and Indian elephants are like smaller than the African elephants, but these ones, as you can see, they're pretty well armored, so you can imagine what kind of impact they can have on the battle. Plus this is my general, so I can use some abilities, not only Stampede, although Stampede is like, it's a great thing for elephants. They just crush stuff. They can, especially if you do some kind of hammer and anvil with Stampede, like the units are gonna rout, immediately. So now I think my enemy is gonna reveal his army. Yeah, there you go. So I thought that he brought some kind of spam army, because all of these units were Praetorian Guard, and Praetorian Guard, I think they're a pretty expensive unit. But thinking about it, I realized that this cannot be his full army, because the Praetorian Guard cost about, let me think, maybe about 100 talent, not 100 but 1,000 talents. So I think that I don't know how many units these were, but this was not enough to use all of my enemy's money. And I was sure that there were some units that were hidden. Apparently I was right. As you can see, there are some Syrian archers. I think he had 3 units of them. Yeah, now he's gonna reveal all of them. So now I'm gonna move with my cataphracts. Of course, I'm gonna move them on my enemy's flanks. I still hope that he doesn't have any cavalry, but now that he revealed his archers, I just thought that it's very likely that he has some cavalry. So now, you know, it's a very good strategy to just concentrate all of your archer units on one unit so that they can do a lot of damage and rout them pretty quickly. Although also there are some auxiliary infantry, so I just decided to kind of move back my cataphracts there so that they won't catch them. And now, like, my opponent didn't expect my archers there. I don't say that it was a great move or anything, but I was still able to kind of surprise him, and now I'm gonna start shooting with all of my archers. I'm gonna use my precision shot and hopefully inflict a lot of casualties. My archers were actually pretty important for this battle, but you're gonna see that later. So now I'm just moving with my silver shields there. I know that they cannot hold all of these infantry units, so now I'm gonna move all of my cataphracts there, hopefully inflict some hammer and anvils and so on. I forgot about this other unit of cataphracts right there. As you can see, they're running pretty far away from the battle, but yeah, now I'm gonna just move them. And my elephants, I'm gonna do the exact same thing. I'm gonna, you know, hope for some hammer and anvils. And elephants are pretty effective against cavalry, so I'm gonna try to hold these cavalry units with one of my cataphract units, and then I'm gonna rush and kind of hammer and anvil them with my other cataphract units. And meanwhile, I'm just gonna use my elephants to do hammer and anvils and hopefully rout a lot of the Roman units there. And I'm pretty confident that just one of my cataphract units can hold for just enough time for my other cataphracts to arrive. So now my enemy's trying to chase my archers, but I'm just keeping them away. I know that they can be important, and my silver shields are doing a pretty good job, but once again, I know that my silver shields cannot hold against these Praetorian Guard units. They're simply too much. They're not bad units, they're pretty good units. Plus my enemy has some other units, and as you can see right there, he's outflanking me pretty badly. Now my cataphracts are gonna charge there, and I know that this is, you know, my enemy's trying to charge with some more infantry, but you're gonna see that in a second. Right now I'm trying to shoot these units there and kind of reduce their morale with my archers. But here's my strategy there. I just want to rout my opponent's cavalry, and then I just want to withdraw with my cataphracts and use them more effectively. I just don't want to keep them there fighting against the other like auxiliary infantry units, I think these were, that my opponent tried to charge there. You know, charge my cataphracts. But here I won the battle. As you can see in the middle, my elephants did a pretty good job. They routed all of these units. Now I'm gonna try to rout all of these archer units, and as you can see here, I'm just you know, I'm not engaging with my cataphracts there. I don't want to keep them in the battle for much longer. I'm just disengaging, and I want to charge, you know, perform a charge on this big blob of units right there, and do the same thing with my cataphracts and just keep shooting with my archers, because they reduce my enemy's morale pretty badly. And that's, you know, they're not inflicting a lot of casualties, but they're influencing their morale, so that's a pretty good thing for me. And as you can see, my silver shields kind of, I don't know, I wasn't expecting that, but apparently their morale is pretty good, and they can hold for a long time. So now I'm gonna use my elephants, of course, stampede, and now I'm gonna charge with my cataphract units. And instead of, you know, rushing the remaining cavalry, the remaining infantry that my opponent had in like this battle in the middle, he decided to just charge one of my units there. He held some of my cataphracts back, but I was still able to perform a pretty good charge and rout the remaining Roman units. And as you can see here, I win the battle. It was a pretty good battle. Like, this setting worked extremely well for me. Like, the other settings that I tried were pretty bad. I just didn't use the right units, and that was why I didn't win. Now hopefully, yeah, you can see the battle statistics. I'm just gonna leave them until the end of the battle so that you can see which of my units were the most important. Of course, my silver shield, some of them, I think my opponent was able to rout some of them. He inflicted some pretty heavy casualties on these guys. My archers stayed pretty healthy. They didn't inflict a lot of casualties, but they influenced my enemy's morale once again, so that was why they were important for this battle. And my elephants, completely outstanding. As you can see, a lot of casualties, 432 casualties. That's a lot, really a lot. So almost half of the kills that I got were inflicted, or yeah, were inflicted by my elephants. So that's a really good thing. My cataphracts were, of course, very effective as well, although one of these units was just useful for holding my enemy's cavalry and then routing it with the others. And yeah, pretty much that was why I won the battle. Once again, my micromanagement is pretty bad. This army isn't perfect, so hopefully in the future I'll be able to play more battles as the Seleucid Empire. I really like the Seleucid Empire. They were one of my favorite factions in Rome 1, and they're probably gonna be one of my favorite factions in Rome 2 because they have a very good variety of units. Cataphracts, I love cataphracts. Elephants, I love elephants, and they just have a pretty big assortment of units, and you can do a lot with them. You know, you can experiment a lot. Anyways, this is gonna be everything for this battle. I hope you enjoyed it. It was a pretty good battle. I'm gonna upload more battles with the Seleucid Empire. Definitely enjoy the faction, as I said earlier. So I'll see you next time. Goodbye.